Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late July, moving into early August 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going, my guides. Talk to me. What do we got for these lovely Virgos here? In late July, early August. We're getting very close to your birthday season, my friends. I hope you're already planning. But yeah, let's see what energies, messages, and insights we have for you. Yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo. What is happening? What energies, what messages can we see for our good friends here as we are approaching August? Almost. Yeah, there we go. I'll take it. So yeah, there could be a card that when this shows up, there is a possible connection with the past. And aside from that, it's very daydreamy. There's a lot of communication connected with this card as well. There's a lot of particulars, even though it seems very simple. And we'll dig into that. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button, but tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little bit more about this card. So we see this lovely lady in the blue dress. She's sitting there. She has her eyes closed. She's holding a locket. There's like a little baby doll down in the corner. Notice there's also letters and notes showing up in the top. So this is a lot of potent symbolism, even though it's simplistic. So for a lot of you, this could be very Six of Cups like. You might be taking some trips down memory lane. There could be some sort of connection to the past that might emerge in this week's reading as well. So we'll see how that all plays out. But it's someone doing a lot of thinking. So you might just have a lot on your mind. Maybe this is someone you're connected to. They're in their head quite a bit about something. But there's also this want to communicate and talk when I see this card as well. So it's going to be intriguing to see how all this energy surfaces throughout the reading itself. Again, it's not necessarily a rough thing, not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just very thought-based and daydreaming. So we're just going to leave it right there for now. We'll see if there's anything connected to the past showing up. Let's get into tarot. And I always say that first card there doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Virgos. My gods, what do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Now, for some of you, you might be in a big time of transformation and change. For another portion of you, there could be certain things in life that are closing out and new cycles opening. But last week's reading was titled Big Karmic Ending. Now, when we start seeing karmic energy, sometimes it's slow moving, sometimes it takes a while. It's kind of like a pressure cooker. If we're not talking about reaping what you sow, karmic is kind of like the life's journey and the chapters changing. So that could really bleed over for a couple weeks, but let's see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're connected to. Let's get it going. 3 cards here for my Virgo friends to start us off. What do we got? Late July, early August, please. There we go. Okay. So yeah, here's that thought-based energy showing up once again. We got that 4 of Cups. Yeah, someone's definitely in the mind, and that totally connects with what we were seeing here in the very beginning with that oracle card. And we'll talk about it a little more. Someone is in their head about something. Let's get a couple more cards out. What do we got for Virgo, please? Okay. So 2 cards popped out together, and we're going to want to really take a look at how all this plays out, because we have Temperance in the center, and then on the very back end we have the 10 of Swords. Now, don't be too nervous about that 10 of Swords. I do like it in a sense that it has Temperance right next to it, and that could represent a protection, an insulation. So for a lot of you know that you do have a nice insulation around you, and we'll talk about that a little further. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. First look, first glance, we have a nice little mixture of elements going. We do have some water, we have some air on the back end. These 2 are more of the internal energies. We have a very spiritual energy in the center when it comes to Temperance, a big card of protection, but it's slow. That's the one thing I could say about these 2 energies here. It's like creeping. It's very slow. It's not moving too quickly. as of yet, because remember, the clarifier could really change that up. But let's go through and build this out piece by piece. Position number one, we do have the Four of Cups. Now, you see that person, they're sitting under the tree. It's like they're having a little snooze, eyes closed once again. And this could be several things. For some of you, there might just be a situation where you feel a little discontent, where it's like, all right, well, I'm not miserable, but I'm not super happy about it. It's kind of like, blah, like one of those types of energies. So this could be very blah. Again, it could be extremely thought-based. So you might just have a lot on your mind. This could be someone that has you on the mind, or just they're in their head. That's the best way I could describe this card. Now notice that there's 3 cups in front of this person, and the universe is holding out another one, but this person isn't grabbing it for whatever reason. So the clarifier for this is going to be very important. Now, the positives of this isn't a permanent stoppage for a big portion of you. When I see the Four of Cups, it's something that might take a little bit of time, but the challenge of it is it's not really moving. It's kind of stuck. So in this time, like if it's not you, it could be someone else that's kind of stuck on something, and we'll see how it all plays. Now, moving to the center again, we don't have a very fast moving energy right next to it. We have Temperance, beautiful. Now, for a portion of you, if you're connected to Sagittarius, this could just be them showing up right here. And the reason I love this, especially next to a card like the Ten of Swords, again, is because it's like spiritual insulation. Usually the Archangel Michael is depicted on the Temperance card, the Defender. It's a card of protection, guide, spirit team, ancestors, whatever you want to call it. There's that spiritual protection, which is absolutely beautiful. But what does Temperance speak about aside from that? Taking a minute, taking a step back, bringing the energy back to home base, not rushing something, taking your time. That's really what this amounts to. For a portion of you, this could represent patience, having patience or the need to have it. This is a very healing type of energy. Another thing I will say about this card is that it's alchemical. Notice that the Archangel there is mixing the water. It's extremely alchemical. So this could represent something that's building. It's not quite there yet, but something is building up. So we'll want to look into this further. And again, when it gets to the challenges of Temperance, very similar to the Four of Cups, could represent feeling a little stuck, delays. Sometimes it could be impatience as well, where like with Temperance in reverse, it could be someone that's acting a little outlandish, because remember, this is fire energy. Now, on to the back end, we do have a possible warning in this week's reading. We have the Ten of Swords, and it's one of the tougher energies to grapple with in the whole tarot. It could represent pain. It could represent someone that's going through a bit of a tough time. Now, I always say that it's on a spectrum when it comes to these tough cards. It doesn't mean like the sky is falling. This could just be something that is bothersome, something that's been sticking with you for quite a while, or something that will, especially with this energy that we've been seeing here in the front end. I always say be cautious when Ten of Swords is here, because it could represent loss, it could represent endings. And I'm not saying that's definitely coming in for a lot of you. A portion of you might just be in a healing journey. When we have the Four of Cups, Temperance, and the Ten of Swords, it's like, all right, I'm healing from this, whatever this represents to you. Now, the positive of the Ten of Swords, aside from all the rough things that we're already talking about, to me, this says there's nowhere to go but up, where it's like, okay, I've seen the worst of it at this point, or I've been through a lot. There's nowhere to go but up, which could be really nice. But again, this could be a warning and something to be cautious about, okay? But I do like the insulation from it. I really do, because like with these energies, it's like either dealing with it or protecting from it. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my Virgo friends, guides and spirit team. What's happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. What's going on that Four of Cups? And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you could drop it right in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Four of Cups time. What's going on? Deck is being particular here. Three Cups. I mean, I do feel like this is someone at least trying to keep a positive mindset, which could be nice for a lot of you. This could literally be advice from Spirit telling you like, hey, see the silver lining of something, or try to keep a very positive mindset about this. Look at the positives. Okay, think happy thoughts, literally, just like the old Peter Pan when he used to fly around. The Three of Cups is a card of happiness, merriment, joyousness, people having a damn good time. So when I see it underneath the Four of Cups, I don't want to say this is a person that's being a bit of a Debbie Downer, but for some of you, there it might just be a time where it's like, okay, I'm not having a lot of fun right now, and I wish I was. Like, I don't know why that message is coming through, but intuitively, that's what it feels like. I wish I was having fun, but I'm not. Okay, and we'll just leave it at that. Now, when it comes to the Three of Cups, this is one of my cards of partying as well. In its positive sense, it could just be having a good time, but in its reverse, it could be someone that's enjoying things a little too much or partying a little too much. This could represent temptation as well. So it's interesting that we have this card of overindulgence and temperance in the same thing. So I feel like that's very important for one reason or another, whether you or somebody else. It's important to not overdo it in this realm. Again, some of you could just be dealing with a group situation when we have the Three of Cups, but it just feels a little discontent where it's like, all right, I wish I was having fun. I wish I was, but I'm not. So let's just keep moving forward. I feel like that's a simplistic, not a super major message as of right now. But let's see what the Temperance card has to say. I really want to get to that Ten of Swords. So why is Temperance here? And keeping that positive mindset, that's usually a very important thing. I'm sure a lot of you know that at this point in your journey. Death in reverse, huh? Okay, big karmic energy starting to show up here. Don't get too nervous about the death card. I always say this doesn't represent death or anything like that to me. Some readers can possibly read it as endings, but when I see death in reverse, to me, it does speak about the past or something that has already elapsed, something that has already happened. So I could absolutely see for a big chunk of you, not all of you, there is some sort of healing journey here or healing from something still. Okay, and people heal on different time frames, right? Like it's not always quick. Sometimes it's healing that takes longer is actually a little more healthy. But I want to mention this: when I see Temperance with the Death card in reverse, it could literally be something trying to return. Okay, like in the upright, this is something coming to a close. It's a cycle closing, possible ending, or a change in metamorphosis. When it's in reverse, it could possibly be something reverting or returning. So keep that in mind for a lot of Virgos in this time. There could be something that's going to pop back up or return in a big way, whether it is a person or a situation. That's very possible with what we see here. Okay, could even be feelings for some people. But let's just keep moving to that Ten of Swords. Again, I do feel this nice insulation. I feel this nice protection here in the center. But let's see what's happening with the Ten of Swords. Someone really taking their time to work through something. So let's see what the Ten of Swords has to say, then we'll do our recap. So why is it here for the Virgos, please? Okay. King of Swords. This is big game over type of energy for some of you. All right, now the King of Swords is not an energy to be messed with, okay? It's air sign energy. It's very strategic. It's plan-based. To me, it's extremely intellectual as well. So when I see it underneath a card like the Ten of Swords, it's extremely serious. So for a portion of you, I feel like this message splits in several different ways. For some of you, if there is something returning, you might not want to indulge, if that makes sense. For another portion of you, you might be saying, you know what? I'm done with something. So it's like, it's game over. I'm not messing around. I'm not playing around anymore. This is someone in that mode and mindset on the back end. Whereas this one in the front is trying to be a little more optimistic. This one in the back end is like, nope, yeah, I'm not playing no more. But again, this could also just represent a serious warning because the King of Swords is just very stern and serious. So keep that in mind, like with the Ten of Swords, even though we have this beautiful insulation, I feel for a big chunk of you, this is something that you've possibly already have familiarity with, especially with the returning energy in the center. But this King of Swords is not playing around. So again, the three main messages I'm picking up here, if there is something returning, you might want to be very cautious and careful with it. For another portion of you with the King of Swords underneath the Ten of Swords, it could just be a serious warning in general to use your smarts, use your brains, think about things analytically and don't get too emotional. And for another portion of you, it's just very stern, like I'm not playing anymore, game over type of vibe. So Let's go through and do a quick recap here, because this is a totally different energy I'm picking up on the back than what we have on the front. Before the shadow card, if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the 4 of Cups with the 3 of Cups in the upright. A little bit of a discontented type of energy I was picking up here. Again, trying to keep your mind as optimistic as possible. And we kind of have the two different extremes, because on the front end here, we have trying to think happy thoughts, but on this one, it's not. So just know in this time, whether this is you or somebody else, it could be going through extremes by thinking about the great happy things, thinking about the rough ones. So that could factor into the warning itself. But the main intuitive vibe I was getting there is like, I wish I was having fun, but I'm not right now. It's a little discontent. Now into the center, we have Temperance with the Death card in reverse. So that can speak about something popping back up, re-emerging, or returning. So keep that in mind. Again, I feel a nice insulation and protection around you, which is really good. But onto the back end, we have this energy that's quite harsh. We have the Ten of Swords with the King of Swords in the upright. This could be a serious warning in general for you to just like use your logic. You're probably a very intelligent person with this type of energy showing up, so use your logic. Again, be careful with anything re-emerging or returning in this time, but this energy is just not playing. Okay, whereas this one's softer and kind of wishing for something to happen. This one is like, I'm not feeding into something anymore, like game over type of energy. I'm not playing around. So please take a screenshot if you'd like, if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows for you, Virgo. That was different. That was definitely different. And again, for some of you, this could just be someone else's energy that we're reading. But let's see what's happening with Virgo. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out for my good friends. What do we got here for Virgo? What do we got? Okay. Okay. So we have the Knight of Swords showing up here, a big card of action. And this can be a little bit combative. That's one thing I will say. Now, for a portion of you, you might just be connected to an air sign. We see it here. We see it here. There's a lot of air sign energy showing up, which is a mental-based type of vibe. So some of you, watch out for the racing thoughts in this time, or the racing mind. I saw it in the beginning with the mental energy. We have it here with the mental energy. Now the Knight of Swords could sometimes represent someone that's on edge, or the thoughts are racing. So be very careful about that. Try not to put yourself in stressful situations in this time as well. But the Knight of Swords is about action, making moves. So with all these energies swirling around, I mean, for some of you, again, something could be building up with the Knight of Swords, but it's a little confrontational. So just know some of you might be a little more aggressive in this time than you normally are, especially with this vibe here on the back end. Now this one showing up within the shadows, like you might be more prone to conflict or headbutt with people in this time. So that could be a little bit of a warning for you. But the beautiful thing about the Knight of Swords is that it's moving. It's not stuck. It's not planted. So if you are going through some sort of healing journey, this tells us like you're making progress, even if you don't see it. So we're just going to put that Knight down right there. Virgo, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the July subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The link is down below. But for the July subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of another one of my favorite decks, the Wizard's Tarot. Absolutely beautiful and works great. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, since I have the travel bug lately, let me know down in the comments what is the most beautiful place you visited in person. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.